moving on to, of course, the ODI squad. West Indies has announced their ODI squad for Australia, and we see we've made as many as 5 changes to the ODI squad. We ensure to highlight them. Tevin Imlach is in as the replacement wicketkeeper for Shane Dowrich. Teddy Bishop comes in for Shimron Hetmyer. Justin Greaves, he was the leading run scorer in Super 50. He replaces Brandon King, who is currently in Bangladesh, getting ready for the Bangladesh Premier League. Kavem Hodge replaces Shafane Rutherford, who's also going to be playing in the Bangladesh Premier League. And Hayden Walsh Jr., he is our leg spinner who replaces Yannick Carrier. Now, of those 5 changes, did any of them took you by surprise?
Well, I would say the one that took me by surprise is the Teddy Bishop replacing our Shimron Hetmyer.
Shimron, yes. Teddy Bishop
Yeah,
replaced Shimron Hetman.
right.
So
That's
Teddy
the biggest
Bishop.
surprise for me. Why? Yes, we can all agree that Shimron Hetmyer and his comeback did not make runs. However, we need to look at the fact that when Shimron Hetmyer was making runs, he was given a long run of games. We can give Shimron Hetmyer one series and then didn't make any runs and you drop him. Although he did not make runs with the bat, his feeling was excellent. He brought a level of energy brought to the feeling. We have not seen that energy of feeling in the West Indies for a very, very long time. And so in the series we won against England 2-1, the feeling was the difference. The feeling that the energy brought with the feeling, that was the point of difference why we won that series. So I really hope that Teddy Bishop feeling is very good and he can bring that energy. Feeling can win you games, and I would have given Sherman Hetmyer um the opportunity to play, probably not play all the games against Australia, but I would have not dropped him out of the squad so early, so quick. It was a
And
rash decision.
definitely, as you talk about Shimron Hetmyer's feeling, I'm also gonna say that in cricket, there's a lot of mind games that goes on in teams. And teams, even though Hetmyer is not in form, it would be like when Chris Gale is not in form or Lara is not in form. Even though they're not in form, bowlers are still fearful of these type of batsmen. Now the Aussies quick, the Jai Richardson and these guys, they're not going to be afraid of a 20-year-old Teddy Bishop. So I think that West Indies, even if Teddy Bishop comes out really successful on this tour, um, I wish he does, because at the end of the day, we support any team that goes out there because we want the best for West Indies.
That is
But
correct.
just to be fair, Teddy Bishop should not have been there, and the fear factor that Shimron Hetmyer's name brings, and also based on what he's done in past performances, Hetmyer should have still been in the squad. You cannot be preaching giving youngsters a chance that you've invested in. You invest in Casey Carty. Carty, apart from the 50, didn't do anything in the last series. Hetmyer struggled just as much. Both of them were averaging like 2018 or something like that from the England series. How is it then that one survived and the other didn't? So where's the consistency? So we have to look at that. But let's look at Teddy Bishop's numbers. So these are the 5 players, as we said, out. We knew that Shane Dowrich would be out because
Right.
he
But
had the abrupt retirement, which is
we
crazy.
we know that Tevin Hiblock will be out once Nicholas Puran is
It's back in,
available. Right, right,
definitely.
right.
Let's start off by looking at our Super 50 to see who would have actually merited coming back into the squad. So Justin Greaves was second on the runs chart, averaging 80. So it's fair to say that with Brandon King out, you agree that Justin Greaves should have made his way back to the ODI, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. His numbers, wow, impressive numbers, averaging over 80, strike rate of 84, not bad, and 350s and 1 century. That's incredible, incredible numbers.
Definitely. Now let's look at the next person included in the squad, Tevim Inlak. Tevin
Wait, oh,
Inla.
I think I skipped Teddy Bishop. Yeah.
No, I haven't. Well, we're going to go back to Teddy Bishop, but I want to
All
talk about
right.
the wicket keeper first, right? So Tevin Inlock, the wicket keeper batsman, if we look at his Super 50, this man averaged 29 in Super 50 and had a strike rate of 68. That's awful. He going to Australia, need to be looking at 300 runs. How did this man get to replace Shane Dowrich, who Shane Dowrich was amazing, less matches, about the same runs, way better strike rate and average. But since Dowrich is not there, look at this guy right here called Jamar Hamilton. He's the best wicket keeper based on our Super 50, averaging 50, strike rate 80. Why is he being overlooked? Why was Jamar
Wow.
Hamilton not included in this squad? If we're
That
going by Super 50 numbers.
that was a very poor decision. I mean, his strike rate is over 80, very good. He has four half centuries. He should have been included over on Imlock, in all honesty. We have to be very careful. I mean, it's either we're going by the numbers, by performances, or we're not. The only reason I see them not including Hamilton is fitness issues. Maybe they're saying that he does not meet their fitness criteria, but that is the only, apart from quote unquote bias reasons, that's the only logical reason I see they could ignore Hamilton. Also, with Hamilton, he also has leadership capabilities. So in terms of them planning and coverage strategies, Hamilton could also present some outside perspective as well.
I have a question for you, Davian. You mentioned fitness. What really is this fitness? If Tevin Inlock, if he is fit, but he can only score 30 runs at a
Mm-hmm.
awful strike rate, and Hamilton is not fit, but able to wicket keep 50 overs and come
Right.
back and score 50 runs, wouldn't it make sense then to say Hamilton is more? What kind of fitness are you talking about? Because
Right.
clearly the
Well,
man is more fit.
well,
Are you
I think they
talking
probably
about running 12 minutes and passing a
yes,
big piece
yes,
and all that? That's
they're looking
ridiculous.
they're looking at physical fitness. They're not looking at our match fitness and ability to
Exactly.
perform.
We're looking at fitness as it relates to performance. Why are we talking about fitness as it as it relates to running? So I boy, West Indies have a lot of explaining to do. So these are just looking at leading wicket takers and leading run scores. But we'll go back to that. Let's start with the first person, right? So we're starting with Teddy Bishop. His Super 50 this year was very good, as you pointed out. 6 innings, 243, averaging 60.8. Strike rate basically 100, batting at number 4 for the
Right,
Cricket
right,
Academy.
right.
However, he's only had a very short span in terms of success at the regional level, because if you notice, he's only had 17 innings so far and averaging 31. Also, I went ahead and looked at his average before this Super 50. So he would have averaged round about 21 or 22 before
Mm-hmm.
this Super 50. And one good Super 50 and he's in West Indies team. Do you think that that's a good rationale? 6 innings get you into a West Indies team?
Yeah, that is very poor. I mean, and they're yeah, that is very poor. The only good reason I say they probably include him, they're saying that they want to include some very young players around the setup to expose them to to how it feels to be part of a squad and prepare them. But I really think they should have given him um at least two consecutive tournaments to see if he's performing at that level. I really think the issue with our cricket, it just takes one good season for players to make the squad, and we really need to have a better benchmark. We need to look at 2 series, 3 series, even for India. I remember Sky, he had to perform 3, 4 IPS
For
season
IPS
consist
before a
right,
T20.
4 IPS season before he could actually debut for India.
And look at Cameron Bancroft for Australia. This man averages over 50 for 3 seasons. And Steve Smith is going to open ahead of Bancroft, who averaged 50. And we
Right.
have this man averaging 31. And he's already in West Indies team. That's a joke.
So, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
so we're not bashing the young man. He's just 20 years old. He definitely has potential. I think he should have still been with the Cricket Academy team, but let's just wish him all the best. He's replacing
right,
Shimron Hetmyer, so he has
right,
big boots to fill.
right, right.
So, and we know that if he doesn't have the best of time, many fans are going to be down on the selectors. And boy, the selectors, they're they're not taking their job too seriously.
Well, one thing I can say though, the persons who replay, so you have some players in the squad who decide to play franchise cricket over the ODI series, that be very careful. Because say these players manage to even win one game or even the series, when they return, it'd be very difficult for them to actually come back. So the players who actually replacing players for a variety of reasons, they know they have reasons to actually push extra, that they know if I perform well against this Australia team, then I'm guaranteed to be in the squad for the next ODI series. And I really
Definitely. Good
I
point.
think some of these players who are off on franchise cricket, I think some complacency have come into a game. Jason Olak, yes, he's putting some performances, but they can perform way better with bottom bar for us. So I think Justice Greaves is the one replacing him. For Brandon King, he can put a lot more runs for us based on the quality he has. So I'm paying close attention to the players coming in new to see how they perform.
Definitely. But I think these guys that are missing, I guess because they know that if they do well in franchise T20, Weston is always going to come back to them because these are our top players, especially given that our T20 team is doing well. You're never gonna look past a Brandon King, a Kyle Mayers, a Jason Hola, a Nicholas Poran. These are the guys that literally are carrying the West Indies flag around the world, whether it be international cricket, whether it be franchise cricket. They're the ones that are winning T20 series for us. They're the ones that are excelling in the IPL. So of course,
Right,
we're gonna have to come back to these guys. These youngsters that are debuting, we're getting smashed with the youngsters in Test match cricket, losing 1-0 to India. We're getting smashed against South Africa. So in general, the youngsters, yes, we're giving youngsters chances, which is good. But at the end of the day, the franchise or the fringe players, they're going to always have that easier access back into West Indies, given that they're performing around the world in different conditions, different time zones, different styles of bowlers, and they're able to do it day in, day out. So I think that's what gives them the advantage over these youngsters who only partially do well in first class cricket or list A cricket, then they don't do too well at the international level. But as I said, let's keep an eye out on these youngsters and see what they have to offer. But let's look at Kavem Hodge, because we already talked about Teddy Bishop, and we also already looked at Tevim Imlak. And we know that Imlak, very shocked he's there, but Kavem Hodge in the Super 50, he was nowhere near to be found. Let's go back on the run scorers, right?
right, right.
Kavem
Wow.
Hodge, he was nowhere near to be found. He's replacing Sherfin Rutherford, remember? He bats at 5'6". So he's replacing Rutherford. He's nowhere near to be found. Rutherford batting at 6 usually strikes above 100. Kavem
Right,
Hodge strike at 72. I looked at a couple other seasons, it was 60 odd. And couple seasons before that, well, 2 or 3 seasons before that, they didn't even show his strike rate. So if you look on ESPN, it's blank.
Right,
So
right.
70 odd and 60 odd for the last two Super 50 competition. What are your thoughts on Kavem Hodge replacing Rutherford?
Very poor decision. If you go to this is where if they go to bring in Teddy Bishop for Sharon Hetmyer, I really don't think Kevin Hodge should have replaced Sherfield Rutherford. The role that Sherfield Rutherford play for our ODI setup, they should have asked Sherman
Shimron
Hetmyer
Hetmyer, yeah.
to play that role, be the replacement for Sherman Hetmyer. We can have a guy who strikes over 100 in ODI cricket to be replaced by someone who strikes less than 80 and who averages less than half. So that's from a
Exactly. So
tat-
if you're averaging worse than Hetmyer and your strike rate is worse than Hetmyer, how are you replacing Hetmyer and Rutherford?
exactly. So yes, Kavem Hodge is ready for the test setup. However, I really think they should let him stay there and based on the persons who made runs in the list A competition last year, they should have picked someone from that list.
No, do you think it is a case where West Indies were trying to conserve on money? Because since Kavem Hodge is already in the test squad, they
Right.
just say he's already in Australia, so let's just have him there. So it's not really like a temporary, it's not really like a permanent fix to the squad, but they just want to know that he's just going to be in the squad for this ODI series. But come the next ODI series, we won't see Hodge or we won't see Imla. They're just there because they're already in Australia. Do you think the selectors considered that?
Wow, I didn't even think of that factor. Makes sense because Tevin Hillock is really the reserve wicketkeeper for Joshua De Silva in the Test series. They say, well, since he's there as reserve wicketkeeper for Joshua De Silva, why not let him be the reserve for Shea Hope as well? So yeah, knowing West Indies, that is the rationale. Wow, I did not
But
even think
why?
of that.
But why not have Joshua De Silva as the reserve wicketkeeper? Given that De Silva is probably more, let's say he's more of international quality than a Tevim Imla. Because Joshua De Silva, we've seen him bat at number 3 for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. He looks relatively decent at 3. So he's more a possible foil to, in case Shea Hope is injured, have Joshua De Silva. Because let's be honest, if Shea Hope doesn't make runs, looking at that ODI team, do you really think a Tevim Imlak is going to go in there and save West Indies or
No,
give you
no,
a
no,
50? No, but
no.
you'd possibly expect Joshua De Silva to be able to not necessarily bat at Shea Hope's strike rate, but maybe score similar runs to Shea Hope at a lower clip, maybe 65, 60 strike rate. I think Joshua De Silva would be a better fit for the reserve wicketkeeper. What are your thoughts on Joshua De Silva?
I gotta mention that I really think Joshua De Silva, seeing that Alec Arsenault is very attacking in the power play, I think Joshua De Silva would be the perfect opener with Alec Arsenault. So I would have played Alec Arsenault and Joshua De Silva to open, seeing that Brandon King is not there. I think that would
So
be
you're
an
not you're
excellent
not
opener.
opening Justin Greaves after his stellar Super 50?
Oh, that is that one. His play position. That's where he
Yes,
plays.
yes,
Oh
yes.
wow, wow!
Yeah.
I didn't even factor in that. That's where he normally plays. Oh my bad. Yeah, yeah. Wow, my bad. Yes, yeah. Justice Greaves, right? Justice Greaves and Alec Austin is right. But Joshua De Silva would have been a better person to be in the ODI setup.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's
And
been a
and I think with a Joshua De Silva who could be a possible reserve opener and a reserve wicket keeper, he would kill 2 spots in one go. So he wouldn't need to have a Keon Otley and we wouldn't
right,
need to have Tevim Imla. So that would
right.
give us the ability now to have maybe another all-rounder or another seam bowler in the squad by having Joshua De Silva. Because with De Silva, you can take out Utley and take out Tevim Imlak. Because you get two
Right.
in one, an opener and a wicket keeper. But I don't know what the rationale is, but moving on now to the yeah, of course, we say Joshua De Silva replaces Brandon King, and that's fair. Justin Greaves, I mean, rather,
Greece, right,
replacing
right.
Brandon
I
King.
say
That's
he's an opening batter, right? And then
yes,
remember taking
yes, yes.
wow, right.
Yes,
That's
he
very
was
consistent of
excellent
him.
with Kyron Powell at the top of the order. Those two did well for Leeward Island. So Greaves and Powell. Powell, even though Powell is up in age, I think given how these youngsters are performing, you never know. Powell might be back in West Indies
And look
colors.
at that strike rate. Wow, 142. Whoa, he's giving Leeward some wicked lightning starts.
Yeah, from lightning starts, he does that.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And
And two half centuries at 35. Wow. Even
definitely,
if this was a T20 competition, that would have been an excellent strike rate.
this would have been excellent numbers for T20. Yeah, but Kyron Powell, I wouldn't be surprised if openers are not standing up, Kyron Powell might be back in. But let's get to Yannick Carraya. Yannick Carrier. Are you shocked that Yannick Carraya or Carrier has been dropped and Hayden Walsh has replaced him? Are you surprised?
Not surprised. Yanni Carrier, yes, he can produce some wicket, excellent wicket taking deliveries, but we have seen at international level, those are far in between. And looking at these statistics, we have seen in the competition, Super 50 competition, where Hayden Walsh has a better economy. It's 4.89 compared to Yannick Curry 5.65. Also seen where Hayden Walsh Jr. average is also lower than Yannick Curry. So we're seeing where Hayden Walsh Jr. is a more attacking option and also has better control as well. And Edward Jr. is a excellent fielder. He feels very, very well. The energy he brings in the field is very similar to what Sherman Hetmyer brings to the field. So we know definitely that he will save runs in the field and take excellent catches. And he has a good record against Australia. Remember
Yes,
when they
that's
last
exactly.
tour came here,
Yes,
he spun a web around them. So,
definitely,
right.
definitely.
And he made some very important contributions with the bat. Hayward Jr. is really a bowling all-rounder, but Yannick Curry is really a batting all-rounder. So if you're going to play Yannick
Well, you
Curry,
said Carrier is a batting all rounder, but his batting numbers doesn't suggest that he can bat.
well, that's how they classify him on ESPN. But if you play Yannick Curry in your team, he cannot be a fifth bowling option. He has to bat in the top six and is expected to make runs. So yeah, that's where I think West Indies went wrong from a tactical aspect. But I'm excited about Haley Watts Jr. But ideally, I would have really preferred Akil Hossein to actually partner Kulishkip Moti.
Definitely.
However, you're right, but I guess there, even though his number, well, even though he did not take a lot of wickets,
Look
we
at
have
his
seen
economy.
right. The only person who has lesser economy than him is Moti and this guy from Leeward
Bringing
named
Narayan.
Durham, and also Narayan as well. Whoa. Narayan, we don't even mention Sonny Narayan. Sonny Narayan is a class to himself when it comes to bowling. So we're excluding him
Definitely. But
in this
I think
metric.
Akil gives us more control, whereas
Right.
Hayden is a genuine wicket taker, but he can sometimes bowl a lot of short deliveries and get punished. At international level, you have to look at bowlers that have more control as opposed to genuine wicket takers that bowl some lollipop from time to time. So as you rightfully said, I agree with you. Akil Hussain would have been a much better option against the Aussies, Akil Hussain and Moti. But I guess they're saying that Akil is no longer favored for ODI. And so now they're looking at leg spinners. So Walsh, Carrier, and if you bowl leg spin, you can join the party and try to
Right.
fight for that spot.
Right.
But yeah, I prefer Hayden Walsh than Carrier. I thought Carrier was awful against England. He bowled a couple wonderful deliveries, yes, but his wicket taking deliveries are very few and far from each other. So he might bowl 10 wicket taking deliveries out of 60, and that's really poor. He cannot bowl 50 bad balls in a so
Right.
yeah, Carrier needs to go back to the drawing board and do some work. No,